in this meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So today it's going to be an exciting topic, I think so, for
Okay.
all of us, because we are actually going into deep dive into the major concepts we previously, you could say, ignored because we actually wanted to focus more on the fundamental parts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me just zoom in. Okay. So I think we should do a small recap on the previous stuff as well for like you could say 5 minutes or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So from the
One,
previous
one, one quick,
slides,
one quick, one quick question,
yeah,
Etnan. um, we 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 buy at the ask and we sell at the bid, correct?
yeah, definitely,
Okay. We buy at the ask, sell the bid. Okay.
yeah, definitely,
Gotcha. I just want to make sure of that.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, just give me a minute, Chris.
Yep, take your time.
Just give me a minute. Okay, so let's get back to this. So last time, if I open up my PDF here as well, I took some screenshots from our previous lecture. Uh, in those lectures, I actually mentioned we will actually be covering this stuff in the future in the future lectures, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are
Yep.
basics you keep in mind until we discuss the regress concept as we enter the future session. And again, on this part, if I open up, let me see. Again, I discussed on this part in the candlestick part that we are going to discuss this stuff in the future lecture. So, what are those stuffs are going to be? Let us just describe those things above. Okay, if you look closely, Chris, if you look closely, there are a couple of things written here. Like when we actually buy or sell in the MetaTrader, you can actually see these terminologies written here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stop loss, take profit, I have highlighted in this green part, right?
Yep.
We already know about the symbol like Euro USD, like the chart symbol, you could say. Let me just open up Handtech MT4. We already know about this stuff. Let me just, yeah. We already know about the symbol, right? Euro USD monthly
Yep.
or 15. We already
Yep.
know this stuff, right? But we
Mm-hmm.
did, but what we didn't know was about these terminologies: stop loss, take profit, and some other stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay. And another thing is about there is a question like if there are actually like two candles and we actually see a couple of trends in those candles as well, right? Like in this, we are going to see we are actually seeing a bearish trend, right? Or a bullish
Yep.
trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
there can be, and there are actually patterns like these that can actually help us identify if the market is going into the bearish trend or the bullish trend, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So these are very important things to actually consider. So I just, wanted to make a recap. So we have these things in mind. So we can actually identify and explore how these things can be useful in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just move on. What are we going to cover today? So basically, today we are going to cover this portion of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
this one,
Mm-hmm.
the terminology part.
Okay.
Got it? Because there are a lot of terminologies in Forex, and we need to, digest these terminologies, you could say, bit by bit, so we can actually identify and use it for our own best trading, you could say, practices, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So today we will cover about stop loss, pip, and take profit. These things, the trailing stop, lot size, break even are going to be the next part of the section because
Mm-hmm.
these fundamentals are very important to understand from the ground up, and we want to give them as much ample time as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Today we will cover up spread, betas, common. Yeah, these are going to be the major things that we are going to cover today. And within these concepts, there are going to be small terminologies as well. Like you could say maybe the bid ask. We already know. We already know about the spread, right?
Yep.
This is spread. Let me just show you again.
Right. The difference between a
This,
buy and a
yeah,
sell.
definitely. The distance between the ask and the bid price, right? We already know about the bid. We already know about the ask. We already know about the common candlestick terminologies, right? The common
Mhm.
candlestick terminologies, you could say the bear candle, the bullish candle, and also the body of the candle. These kind of stuff we already know.
Yep.
So any doubt in this in the previous concepts?
Hmm.
Chris, any doubt in the previous concepts you
Oh
have?
no,
You can
no,
ask.
no, no,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
got it.
So let us just jump straight into stop loss, right?
Hmm.
So basically, this is the first concept that we are going to take on. Like this stop loss that actually MetaTrader asked for, we are going to start from this. So basically, how a stop loss actually is, right? The first question actually rises about
It,
what a
it's
stop loss is.
it's to prevent it from going down.
Yeah,
It's to
it,
protect your loss.
yeah, definitely. We don't want to. For example, let's say we already know for example, let's set up condition. Let me just draw up a rough chart here. Let's say our current trend was going up, right?
Hmm.
And then what actually happens is the trend goes down,
Hmm.
right? And it doesn't get up. Like even if it gets up, it stops here. It doesn't get to this position, right?
Right. Hmm.
So do you think, Chris, we should do something about this situation?
No,
Like
let it go.
like we should actually, for example, we don't know how much period time this is going to be stuck on this part. Maybe it should go even down. Maybe the market is actually crashing and it's going
Right.
down and down and down and down, right?
Hmm.
It doesn't get up,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So
Right.
we need some kind of barriers. We need some kind of barriers actually prevent this from happening, right?
Right. And that's what a stop loss is, a
Yeah,
barrier.
definitely. We need a
Right.
barrier to prevent our trade to get into more loss, right?
Hmm.
We need to have a barrier for this. And this is
Yep.
where the stop loss actually comes in,
Hmm.
right? Let's just go through the examples, like the draw an example that I've given here. For example, we have this chart, we have this trend, and we have a trend line here. This is called a trend line. This red marker is going
Yep.
to be called a trend line, right?
Yep.
And this is a falling trend line. This means this is a
It's a bearish trend line.
yeah, definitely. It's a base trend line. So you decide that this is a great breakout trade, and let's just skip this part. But before you enter your trade, ask yourself the following questions. Where could you possibly set your stop? And what conditions would you tell when the original trade idea is invalidated? For example, it's talking about like on there are two kind of things. It's actually discussing two kind of stuff. Either you can actually define a fixed stop loss value. For example, I want to define 1.300 as my fixed stop loss
Stop loss.
value. Like
Hmm.
on this point, it's going to, let me just draw a line. On this point, it's going to
It's gonna
close the
sell.
trade. Yeah, it's going to close the trade. I've opened a trade. I've
Hmm.
opened a trade for like in somewhat here, and I wanted the trade to get me a lot of profit. But
Right.
but the thing happened was the trend line was going down and down, right?
Hmm.
And to stop this, you could say downline trend, and we don't want our profits to be lost. We I set up a stop loss of 1.300
Mm-hmm.
so that when it reaches on this particular point, it actually closes the trade, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I've opened this trade here and it closes here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I have done is I prevented the loss from happening here. I
Right.
didn't go down and down and down from here. I didn't go there. I didn't go to this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this strategy is called a fixed. Let me just draw. Let me just write it up. Fixed SL strategy.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you can actually see from the UI here, this is actually requiring a fixed stop loss value, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can actually see an input box here, 0.00. You can actually modify this value, and we have a fixed
Stop
SL
loss.
value, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's jump back into this. Okay, so the second strategy, what we are going to discuss is about another thing, like maybe we actually want to have a stop loss that actually that actually happens because of some conditions, right? It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
happen because of stop loss value, but it happens because of a specific set of conditions, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
this is the most convenient way based on strategy,
Right. Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just show up an example here. This is the same example that is going to be used. You can actually see here, Chris, we have a black line here, right? This one,
Yep. Yep.
right? And it actually is indicating you something, right? Because it hits this trend line for this trend, no, not this trend line, this Forex chart, Forex line is basically hitting again and again on this black line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it shows that the trend is majorly going down and it's hitting again and again on the downside trend, right?
Right.
So this means, does it provide us some kind of an idea of where the trade or the trend is going to be, right? It actually is providing us some
Mm-hmm.
kind of an idea that we are
Yep.
actually in the bearish market, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So this means, we are, in this case, we are going to use a
Fixed
based,
stop loss.
we are going to
Yeah.
use a based on strategy stop loss,
Okay.
right? You get the idea?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because we are actually seeing a regular pattern here, a pattern that is indicating us that the Forex chart is going on a bearish trend because it has actually verified us. It's hitting the
Mm-hmm.
same line again and again.
And that's the base. That line is the base that you're
Yeah,
pointing to.
that line is
Yeah.
the base. That line is being properly
Baseline.
accessed again and again. Yeah.
And that's where you want to set your stop.
Yeah. I want to stop on some kind of this area or this area.
Right. Okay.
Because on first try, we actually saw, okay, we have hit this line. Okay, no problem. We can say it's fine. Okay, no problem. And then again on second try, we actually hit this point again and hit this
Mm-hmm.
point again.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This means we need to stop in these intervals.
Right.
Got it?
Yep.
So basically stop loss helps us, like facilitates us in the, you could say, in the short term trends, in the short term, sorry, trading. When we are going into short term trading, short term trading, we
Mm-hmm.
need stop loss and other barriers like this to prevent us into,
Losing.
yeah, prevent us into getting huge losses,
Right.
right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We
So,
want
so let me
to,
ask, can
yeah,
I ask you something real quick? The fixed stop loss, is that on top and the base is on bottom, right?
yeah, definitely. The fixed stop loss, for one condition, I have set this open here and I
Right.
wanted to close on this here, right? I'm actually annotating this as well. We are using fixed stop loss here.
Right. What I'm
Uh,
saying is a fixed stop loss can never be on the bottom, right?
yeah, definitely.
It's only
Stop.
the base can be on the bottom.
Yeah, definitely. Stop loss majorly happens on the front side because we don't want to actually, lose money. We want to save money as possible.
Right. I
Got it?
understand I guess what I'm saying is the fixed stop loss can only be on the top, right?
Yeah, definitely. Let me just show you again.
Okay.
I want to show you an example again. Let me just show you. You can
Okay.
actually see here. Let me see. Here. Is your question answered?
Yeah, it's on the
Stop loss
top.
is on the above, right?
Uh-huh.
Just
Right.
ignore this part. Just focus on this one, right?
Okay.
Okay, let me just see you. And the reason, the logic behind this is majorly we want to prevent our loss from happening more, right?
Right.
So it has
Mhm.
to be, it has to be above. We can't actually go down here. Just imagine if I put a stop loss here on this part, it would actually make my loss a lot bigger,
Right. No, I understand. Right, 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 right.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
prevent this, we want to
Right,
take a calculated risk and we
right.
want our
Because
stop loss
the
to
trend
be
line's
above.
going down. Because the trend line's going down.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. We don't
Mm-hmm.
want to have a huge loss. We want to have a small loss.
Mm-hmm. Right. I got you.
Got
You
it?
caught it right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Got it.
this line, this is going to be our strategy based
Right.
SL, right?
Mm-hmm. That strategy base is if it's going sideways.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, trend line's
When
going
it's
sideways.
yeah, when it's hitting a baseline that we have set, a certain kind of conditions,
Bouncing.
you could say,
Right.
when it
Mm-hmm.
hits those conditions again and again, we use a strategy based
Right.
stop loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see
Mm-hmm.
here breaking above the trend line, you buy above the trend line, but where do you get your stop? We want to have some kind of patterns, some kind of checks that actually helps us in identifying when to stop and when to start trading, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we can actually have a, you could say, balance between loss and profit, you could say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So these questions are answered. Where could you possibly set your stop? What
Right.
conditions would you tell when your original trade is idea is invalidated? So we have these kind of preventions like stop loss to help us in doing this. Let's deep dive into this again. Okay. Now, let's start with this. Okay, so you can see here that it's talking majorly about same stuff like this point is being hit again, and again. And because these
Yep.
reasons we have set this baseline, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it
Yep.
makes the most sense to set your stop below the trend line. It's basically talking about this. Like it's now it's talking about majorly about the strategy based thing,
Mm-hmm.
strategy based stop loss.
Yep.
It's actually providing a reason why we are actually defining a baseline at the bottom, right? Not
Right.
at the top like we did with this fixed stop loss here, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason why it happened because the thing is, this is a continuous trend, right? We can see
Mm-hmm.
some pattern here. When this pattern is evident, that we see that there's something wrong with the market going on, that the trend is not going up, that the trend is not uplifting, but it's hitting the same place again and again, and it's going down, right?
Right.
This means this means there is something going wrong with the market, and we need to have some sportive areas. Sportive areas are these red, you could say light red boxes you can see here. This sport area,
Mm-hmm.
this trend line is going to help us in identifying that we need to stop here. So that is why this trend line, sorry, this baseline, let me just label it as baseline, is at the bottom side, right?
Yep.
It helps us, identify number of patterns so we can actually confirm, okay, there is something going wrong with the market, so we need to stop something round about here, right? Okay, in the market above, if the market moves into these areas, that means the trend line drew no support from buyers and now sellers are in control. Your trade idea is invalidated and it's time you suck it up and exit trade and accept the loss, right? So basically, if you look closely, conditions specified for stop loss. This is very important. Whenever you want to you could say define a stop loss, you need to have the condition in mind, right?
Okay.
Got it? Like we have two tools right here. We have a fixed stop loss and a strategy based stop loss, right, Chris? We have
Yep.
two things. This
Mm-hmm.
is, you could say, a coin toss, something like if it actually hits, you can stop. If it doesn't, so it doesn't, right? It's like a
Yep.
coin toss. It happens or it happens or it doesn't, right?
Right.
The fixed stop
Mm-hmm.
loss strategy. But the
Mm-hmm.
based on strategy stop loss, that is something based on patterns. It's based
Right.
off
Mm-hmm.
continuous patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Chris?
Yep. Yeah. I
So,
understand.
so the thing is, for continuous strategy based stop loss or the strategy based stop loss, we need to have a defined set of conditions. Got it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like for this, we have a defined set of conditions. Like on this area, 1.28800, if the line actually hits one time, two times, three times, we are going to close the trade here onwards. Got it?
You're gonna close it on the
Yeah,
third
we
one.
close it. We close the trade. So we
Okay.
don't actually have a huge loss, right?
Okay.
We have opened this trade somewhere here and it goes down, down and down and down. It hits this part, it goes up, it hits this part again, it goes up, it again hits this part. This means there is something wrong with the market, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
This means we should actually close this trade at this point
Mm-hmm.
of time, right?
Okay.
So this is called a strategy. This is called a set of conditions, you could say. Any name
Mm-hmm.
that you want to put, this is what we define strategies for. We want to have a number of strategies that can help us in stopping our losses, right, Chris?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So this actually is very crucial for traders to actually define first, that we need to define the trend lines or something like that to actually help us in controlling the forex market in the
Okay.
forex trading.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just okay. So basically, a stop loss provides traders the authority to minimize loss by getting up a condition which is when hit closes the trade. That means on a predefined value of a loss or a predefined set of conditions, the trend is meeting, it will close the trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the idea?
Yep. I got it.
This is the important part. On a predefined value, like the fixed stop loss, or a predefined set of conditions, like the based on strategy stop loss, the trend is meeting, it will close the trade.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now let's jump into a real chart example. Got it? A predefined,
Yep.
real life,
Mm-hmm.
real chart example. For example, we have a short Euro USD chart going on. In the chart below, Euro USD has been trending down. Price has hit the falling. trending line a couple of times, which makes a nice resistance level, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got it? In the chart below, the Euro USD has been the trending line. Price has hit the
Yep.
falling trend line a couple of times. It has hit
Mm-hmm.
a couple of times here, a trending line,
Yep.
falling trend.
Mm-hmm.
This is bearish market going on. You could place a short trade right on the downward trend. You could say 1.39600 or something. 1.369. Where is 1.3690? I think it's right about at this point. Let me just annotate. Let me just annotate. Let me just annotate. I think it's right about this point, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
1.3642, and I think this is 1.36.
9.
No, no, I think so. I've gone a little more wayward. Let me just erase this. This is 1.400, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
it's right about something here, maybe. Maybe it's right about something. And also, this stop loss is there, so obviously, this is going to be the part.
Okay.
Yeah, got it?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just send this to back as well. Just send back. Okay. Okay. So now where would you place your stop loss? The question is,
We're
right?
okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be talking about the fixed stop loss. Are you getting the point, please?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We
Mm-hmm.
have a fixed stop loss here because we already know what value we're going to bid.
Okay.
Got it? It's going to
Mm-hmm.
hit 1.3800 and we are going to abruptly close that trade. Got it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When it hits 1.3800, we are going to close
Was it?
the trade,
Mm-hmm.
right? Got it? No trends, something like in the previous example, we were talking about the trend line. We are using a fixed stop loss strategy here,
Yep.
right?
Understand. Yep. I understand. Yep.
Notice how this is above the resistance area, the falling trend line. As I told above in the previous charts as well, this is going to
Mm-hmm.
be above the downtrend
Mm-hmm.
area, right? Because we don't
Mm-hmm.
want major losses to happen, right?
Right.
We're synthesizing on this part as well. Notice this is above the resistance area.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So let's set target profits at what I will talk about target profits as well. There are two kind of barriers. There is a stop loss and there is a take profit points as well. There are two
Mm-hmm.
barriers. I would next we would after that we will be talking about the take profit as well. It's going to be coming up on the next parts. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just let us just continue from where we left. Okay, so
Okay.
basically the trade is triggered. The trend line holds at resistance, price falls. Your first target is hit. The second profit target is missed, but by a single pip. But at that time, you had moved your stop loss to break even, where you entered short. So you lost nothing. We will
Mm-hmm.
talk about these concepts as well, like break even. These are future concepts. Break even, like this is a very, you could say a fundamental concept as well. We can talk about this in the
Mm-hmm.
future as well. Okay. So this is an example of using resistance as a guide to where to place your stop instead of simply using a fixed number, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's a very important concept. This is an example of using resistance. Resistance is very important. You need to know what where to put your resistance line. Like where
Right.
to put a barrier, a hypothetical barrier where you don't want to lose to further proceed, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got it? Let me just
Yep.
show you how you can actually put a resistance barrier here. You can see this line moving around.
Yep.
This line helps you identify the number of pips or the scale where you actually want your resistance barrier to be. Let me just draw a resistance barrier here. You can see the red line.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I draw a red line here. I draw a red line here again.
Mm-hmm.
This is a resistance barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? Yes.
Yep. Yep.
So this helps you identify where to put your stop loss or where to put your barrier. Got it?
Yep.
To
Mm-hmm.
prevent you from going into major losses.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, now let's move on to what a PIP is. This is a very, very important concept as well, and it's a very easy concept as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for example, the thing is, we have we have a standard for Ethereum, like, right? We have a standard for US dollar, right? For example, a
Mm-hmm.
US dollar, we know a US dollar, 1 USD is something like that. We know 1 euro, something like that. We know a standard for currencies, right? We have a
Mm-hmm.
standard for currency. We have a standard for physics as well, like kilometer per hour, miles per hour, right? You get the whole picture. What I'm trying to do.
Yep.
We actually
Mm-hmm.
have standard for everything in Forex. In Forex, we also have standard for Forex as well. In terms, we can actually measure different currencies in liquidity form, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see here in the chart we have these values here placed here like 1.7 1.07440, 1.7330, 1.7220, right? You can see the values.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So how these values are determined? How do we know what these values means, right? The question is that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
This is called a pip. This
Okay.
1.7440 is called a pip. This, let me just show you. Let me just view data window. Okay. This candle had an open on 1.70 pip and closed
Mm-hmm.
on 1.0 pip something, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of
Yep.
these are measured in pips.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
Your stop loss, your profits, your losses, all of these things are measured in pips. They are not measured in euros or USD or something like
Mm-hmm.
that because we have so many currencies. Chris, we have so many currencies. We cannot
Yep.
identify those losses in so many currencies. We need to have a standard. We need to have a standard that we can equally interchange. Like for example, if we have a loss, let me just show you. If we have a loss or a profit in USD, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we want to translate this loss or profit to euro.
Right. We do it in
Got it?
pips.
We need
Mm-hmm.
to have some kind of standard in between that can help us translate between these currencies, right? Got it?
Yep.
And this is where the PIP actually comes in. The
Okay.
PIP allows us to convert one currency into another currency so we can actually compare the currencies with each other, right? This is the
Mm-hmm.
starting question that you asked me when we were actually starting with the Forex on in our first lecture. You said to me, Khan, how are we going to determine if we are actually going to loss in euro or we're going to loss in USD, right?
Mm-hmm.
So PIP actually helps us in translating these things interchangeably, right? We
Mm-hmm.
have a standard now. We have a standard that can actually help us in doing this. We have 4 minutes left, kid. Chris, for this meeting to end, I can share you another Zoom link again because Zoom meeting is going to end, right? I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to share another meeting in just 4 minutes. Let's just finish up these things up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. PIP is an acronym for percentage in point or price interest point, right? A
Mm-hmm.
PIP is the smallest whole unit price move that can exchange rate can make. Smallest whole unit price move that an exchange rate can make. Let me just clarify this. You can see here, Chris, every bit of, like you would say, candle that appears, it has a separate pip movement, right? This candle started on this pip and closed on this pip. This candle
Right.
started on this pip, it closed on a
Right.
separate pip value, right? You can actually see the pip values right here: open, close, high, low, right?
Right.
It started on 1.7086, this candle. It closed on 1.7 1.07164, change of value, right?
Right.
It started on 1.70164. It closed on 1.07153, right?
Right.
So each candle has a different pip. Each candle is moving,
Right.
right? Whether in downward trends or whether in,
Upward.
yeah, definitely. So based on Forex market convention, most currencies are priced out of four digital currencies, four decimal places. Got it? Okay, Chris, let me just end up this meeting and I will be sharing you another link because the meeting is going to end soon.
Sure.
And we
No
can actually
problem.
save this recording as well. Sending up on Fiverr again.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.